Kristi Noem and Tom Homan erupted in a fury after an off-duty Border Patrol agent was shot in a New York park by an illegal immigrant, a direct consequence of Biden's open border policies. Noem now blasting sanctuary city mayors for enabling the chaos, while Homan got extremely emotional over the dangers these policies have created.
I buried Border Patrol agents, I buried ICE agents. Luckily, thank God, we're not burying one today. Enough. I love the men and women of ICE. I love the men and women of the Border Patrol. They're finally doing the job they took an oath to do.
If you agree with Tom Homan and you support ICE and Border Patrol, hit that like button for me. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. The border crisis, it's not at the border anymore. It's in our backyards. Here's security footage of the suspect and an accomplice rolling up on a scooter, trying to rob the agent at gunpoint, but this agent wasn't going down that easy. He returned fire and hit the suspect, although he was shot in the face and arm. Both suspects are now in custody and the agent is recovering in the hospital. As for the shooter, he's from the Dominican Republic and has been previously deported but re-entered the U.S. under, you guessed it, President Biden in 2023. He is wanted for grand larceny in 2023, assault and criminal contempt in 2024, and armed robbery in 2025. He was released every single time without bail. Now, the illegal migrant driving the scooter was caught and released also under Biden in 2022. Some city leaders are blaming Biden for this horrific event.
The point that we're making here is this should never have occurred. We need thoughtful change to our sanctuary city laws in this city that protects our New Yorkers. And this person here, Miguel Mora, is the poster child for what is wrong with sanctuary city status in New York City.
President Trump wrote over the weekend, quote, "The Democrats have flooded our nation with criminal invaders, and now they must all be thrown out, or in some cases, immediately prosecuted, and that we cannot take a chance that they are able to come back. That's how evil and dangerous they are." Here's Secretary Noem responding this morning.
There's absolutely zero reason that someone who is scum of the earth like this should be running loose on the streets of New York City. He was arrested 4 different times in New York City, and because of the mayor's policies and sanctuary city policies, was released back to do harm to people and to individuals living in this city. Make no mistake, this officer is in the hospital today fighting for his life because of the policies of the mayor of this city.
How many innocent Americans need to be shot, assaulted, or worse before these mayors of sanctuary cities say enough is enough? When you treat illegal criminals like victims, don't be shocked when they victimize others.
New York City, how many times do you want to see NYPD attacked by illegal alien criminals in this city? Now a federal officer. How many citizens in this city have been attacked by illegal aliens in this city? You see the polls. Everybody agrees we should be arresting public safety threat illegal aliens, but you got a city council here that locked us out of Rikers Island. Are you kidding me? So an illegal alien in Rikers Island we can't talk to, we don't have access to. That makes the city unsafe. Every sanctuary city is unsafe. I'll say it again, sanctuary cities are sanctuaries for criminals.
Secretary Noem, she's now calling on every sanctuary mayor to wake up and act.
I'm calling on every single mayor and sanctuary city and sanctuary governor to change their policies and to change their tactics right now. Their job is to take an oath to protect the public, to protect families that are out there every single day trying to provide for each other and to try to live the American dream, and they want to do so safely in their own communities. How many more lives will it take? How many more people have to be hurt and victimized before we have public safety be a #1 priority in some of our largest cities? When I look at what Mayor Adams has done to New York City, it breaks my heart to see the families that have suffered because of his policies. We can look across this country at other mayors. We look at Mayor Wu in Boston and what has happened there under her watch. What's happened in LA with the riots and the violence and the protests that have gone on because of Mayor Bass and what she has perpetuated. When you look at Mayor Johnson in Chicago and how devastating it is to live in that city and some of those poorest communities, how they suffer every single day with the violence that's in front of them, just because these individuals are protecting criminals.
It's about time that these mayors are held accountable for their policies. Here's LA's Mayor Karen Bass over the weekend refusing to admit that Trump's border policies are actually making the country safer.
If you ask me, is there anything that they have done good in terms of immigration? I don't know. I don't think so. I think that the viewpoint has been punitive, has been, let's make it as miserable as possible so that these people don't come.
Whatever they're doing is certainly working at the border itself. We were down on that border, and it is dramatically different than it was a year ago.
Even ABC acknowledged what President Trump is doing is making a drastic difference. Just another example of Trump getting liberals to take the least popular side of an issue. And if Mayor Bass wants to play stupid games, she's going to win stupid prizes.
Sanctuary cities are now our priority. We're going to flood the zone. You don't want to let us into jail to arrest a bad guy in the safety and security of a jail. You want to release him into the street, which makes it unsafe for the community, makes it unsafe for the officer, makes it unsafe for the alien. Anything can happen on a street arrest. So what we're going to do, we'll have more agents in New York City to look for that bad guy. So sanctuary cities get exactly what they don't want, more agents in the community and more agents in the work site.
That is exactly what a majority of America voted for. A new CBS poll shows 61% say that immigration and deportations are top concerns, despite the media's endless sob stories about sweet abuelas being snatched off our streets. Tom Homan fired off this blistering message to the media.
I'm sick and tired of reading in the media every day how ICE is not doing what the Trump administration has promised, that we're not arresting criminals, that most of the people we're arresting are not criminals. I look at the numbers every day. The numbers I looked at the other day, 130,000 arrests and 90,000 criminals. Do the math, that's 70%. And who are the others? Others are those who have final orders, who had due process at great taxpayer expense. A federal judge ordered them removed, so ICE's job is to remove them. Then I read another story about how most people in ICE detention aren't criminals. Now the story is, how bad of a criminal they have to be. I saw a story the other day. Only 1% of the illegal aliens removed were murderers. Are you kidding me? Being in the country illegally is not illegal anymore? You got to commit a murder to be deported? If you look at ICE detention, I'll say it again. Look at detention. Who's in detention? I look at the numbers this morning. A majority are criminals, have criminal history. Who are the rest? Final order cases, who a judge ordered removed. The others are expedited removal. By federal statute, demands they be detained. So for the media out there, let's try telling the truth about the men and women of ICE and the men and women of the Border Patrol.
If breaking into the country isn't a crime anymore, then what's next? Do we just hand out welcome baskets at the border? ICE is not the problem here. It's the last line of defense against a system that is already being hollowed out by politics. And the numbers? They don't lie. Under Biden, 1.8 million illegal immigrants have been caught and released into the U.S. Under President Trump, 6 months into his second term, only 7. That's not just a shift. That is a massive shutdown of chaos. Now, we're also learning more about that ICE raid at a Home Depot in Sacramento. 11 arrests were made, 5 with criminal histories, and 3 of them convicted felons. One suspect, a convicted sex offender. He fled from agents, broke into a nearby apartment, and assaulted the occupant during the raid. That's just one guy. Then there's the walking rap sheet. A Mexican national booked into California jails, ready for this? 67 times since 1986. What are we doing? He is a convicted fentanyl trafficker. Still here, still dangerous. But sure, ICE is the problem. Other arrests include a deported Guatemalan aggravated felon, a Mexican caught again for a license violation, and a Guatemalan who's been trespassing since 2009. And LA County? They've ignored hundreds of ICE detainers in 2025, releasing these criminal illegals back into the public like it's no big deal.
We do document when ICE sends us detainer request. So we know, based right now on the numbers I gave you earlier, at least for this year, I think there's 435 people that they've asked for in 2025 that they've requested, but we have not fulfilled any of them because of state law. And honestly, the county policy is even more strict than state law, so it prohibits me from turning those over unless that federal judicial warrant exists.
Translation? Unless ICE jumps through legal hoops bigger than the Grand Canyon, these criminals get a free pass. This is not incompetence. It's intentional. And Mayor Karen Bass, she was busy downplaying LA's ICE riots over the weekend like they were just a noisy block party.
It did not warrant military intervention. It did not warrant the Marines coming into our city with basically no real mission, but just to show a force. Los Angeles is 500 square miles. The disturbances took place in maybe 2 square miles.
Oh, so as long as the city's only partially on fire, we're good. That's like saying you don't need a fire department because only half your house is burning. I mean, lawlessness doesn't need a zip code to be a problem. It just needs leadership to stop it. Enough of that. Let's move to this. President Trump is on a roll and taking down his political enemies one at a time. He provided receipts showing California Senator Adam Schiff committed mortgage fraud, which is a felony, by the way. This is the difference also between the right and left, right? When Republicans make accusations, we get proof. When the Democrats do it, they expect you to take their word for it. Well, you can see for yourself. Schiff signed the document claiming the Maryland address was his principal address. And the president wrote, quote, Adam Schiff is a thief. He should be prosecuted just like they tried to prosecute me and everyone else. The only difference is we were totally innocent. It was all a giant hoax. The president then later wrote on Truth Social, quote, Adam Shifty Schiff is in big trouble. He falsified loan documents. He once said my son would go to prison on a scam that Schiff, along with other crooked Dems, illegally manufactured in order to stage an actual coup. My son did nothing wrong, knew nothing about the fictional story. It was an American tragedy. Now Shifty should pay the price of prison for a real crime, not one made up by the corrupt accusers. And what's ironic is, as soon as the president took office, Adam Schiff had the nerve to say this.
They could go after the president's enemies. They could open investigations of people for no reason, with no evidence. They could potentially pressure prosecutors to move forward with charges without an adequate basis. Now, I have faith in the court system that those cases ultimately get thrown out. I have faith in the jury system, but they could really turn people's lives upside down in the process. And of course, merely opening an investigation against someone, even if it's without merit, that can create a cloud over that person.
Oh, now that it's your name on the file, suddenly you're worried about lawfare. Sorry, Schiff, doesn't work like that. Play stupid games, and you're going to win felony charges. Up next, former President Obama and other top Democrats could be in legal trouble. I lay out the whole Russia hoax and the consequences that lie ahead. Go ahead, click on that video you see now on your screen. It's a good one, and I'll see you over there. Thanks for watching.